Hello, it's nice to be with you again. Welcome. Today we start a new lesson. It is going to be about adverbs, but as you have noticed, I prefer not to start from scratch. I prefer to begin reviewing what we have previously seen. So let us begin. Types of clauses. Remember that a clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. This differs from a phrase which doesn't have a subject and a verb, like to the park. Okay? To the park is a phrase. Why? Because it is a group of related words, but you don't have subject and verb. Something else that we have mentioned before, clauses can be independent or dependent. Let us continue reviewing this. As I just mentioned, there are two types of clauses, independent and dependent. Let us remember the definition of independent. They are called sentences. Why? Because they can stand alone, because they express a complete thought. Dependent clauses, on the other hand, are subordinate clauses. They are subordinate to something else. They are dependent on something else. Usually, an independent clause and depend on it for meaning. Okay? Alone, a dependent clause doesn't have complete meaning. Here, you have some examples with the dependent clause underlined. Look at this, the first one. Because he has a college degree, he got a great job. Okay? Dependent clause, the dependent clause is underlined. Because he has a college degree. What about it? It doesn't have complete meaning by itself. If I tell you, because he has a college degree, what? I don't understand, I don't get it, you say. We have to add some other information, and that is the independent clause. Now let us listen to the sentence again. Because he has a college degree, he got a great job. Now let us see the other sentence. Remember that the underlined part is the dependent clause. When the rain started, when the rain started, she was at the supermarket. Okay? Alone, when the rain started, doesn't make sense. You need extra information. Look at the other sentence. Mario wore the coat that I gave him. Okay, full meaning, complete meaning. But what if I just say that I gave him? Nope, you need something else. You need the independent clause. Okay? In other words, you can see that each underlying clause cannot stand on its own, but needs a clause, independent clause, to help it make sense or to have complete meaning. Now, let us get to our point. What is an adverb clause? Adverb clauses are clauses that function as adverbs. That is easy to remember. A noun clause functions as a noun. An adjective clause functions as an adjective. An adverb clause, of course, functions as an adverb. Now, since they are dependent clauses, they must have a subordinating conjunction to connect them to the other clause. This will help you recognize an adverb clause. In other words, an adverb clause starts with a special word, which is called subordinating conjunction. Look at this. Whether you like it or not, you have to go. What is the subordinating conjunction? It is whether. Okay? But if you notice, after the adverb clause, you have a comma, and then you have the independent clause. But look at the other sentence. You have to go whether you like it or no. Here you have the same independent clause the same adverb clause, but you don't have a comma in the middle. Why? We will see that a little later. So we have some things to learn today. Let us remember the meaning of complex sentences. Remember, they are those containing both an independent clause and a dependent clause. So, in other words, a complex sentence has two clauses, one independent and the other one dependent. Something else. In a complex sentence, the main idea is normally in the independent clause. Look at the example that we have here. If we can get tickets, we'll go to the game. What is the main idea? It is this one. We will go to the game. With a little detail. If we can get tickets, okay? So this is a dependent clause, an adverb clause. How do I recognize it? Because here at the beginning I have a subordinating conjunction. Now, number 2. Note, in a complex sentence, the clauses can come in either order. In other words, the dependent clause can be at the beginning or at the end. If the dependent clause comes first, we place a comma after it. And that is the clue. Remember, if we start with the dependent clause, we have a comma. Whenever I exercise comma, I feel good. But if the clause is at the end, then there is no comma. I feel good whenever I exercise. Now, remember this. Adverb clauses begin with subordinating conjunctions, but they also have another name, that is subordinating adverbs. Look at this. It began to rain while we were playing. Here, you have the subordinating conjunction at the beginning of the clause. Look at the other sentence. The clause is not at the beginning or at the end, it is in the middle. Her ability when she got to high school was remarkable. How do I identify the beginning of the clause? The subordinating conjunction. Okay? Now look at the other one. She'll earn a good salary once she starts to work full-time. Here you have the adverb clause. How do you recognize the beginning? Here you have the subordinating conjunction. Remember when we were studying adjective clauses? They answer some questions. One of them is, what kind? Whatever answers the question, what kind, in a sentence, you already know it is an adjective or a variation of an adjective. The same thing happens with adverb clauses. They answer the questions when, how, where, why, or under what condition. And the point for you to remember is whatever answers one of these questions that is an adverb or a variation of an adverb. Look at this. When? Look at the sentence. We always drink water. When? Before we start a game. Now here you have a clause, subject and verb. What kind of clause? It is an adverb clause. How do I know? Look at this. What is it called? What kind of word is it introducing the clause? Okay, you remember the name? Subordinating conjunction. But again, what kind of clause is it? A noun clause? No. An adjective clause? No. An adverb clause? Yes. How do I know? Because it answers the question when. We always drink water. When? Before we start a game. Another question. Why? She dropped out of the race. Why? Because she was injured. Adverb clause? Yes. Why? Because it answers the question why. And the same thing happens with where. Major athletes are popular. Where? Well, wherever they go. Look at Messi. Look at El Mágico. Another question, under what condition? You will improve. And the condition? If you practice daily. What kind of clause? Adverb clause. Why? Because it answers the question, under what condition? Now, let us remember a little bit about placement and punctuation. Here we have the main clause, and here we have the adverb clause, okay? We watched TV a lot when the World Cup was on. Tickets cost more because players earn so much. They are expensive, so we have to pay more expensive tickets. Main clause, nothing in between, adverb clause, okay? Main clause, nothing in between, adverb clause. But what happens when you have the adverb clause at the beginning? When the World Cup was on, comma, we watched TV a lot. Because players earn so much, comma, tickets cost more. Okay? Point to remember. Adverb clause at the beginning, comma. When the adverb clause is at the end, there is no comma. And then, how do I recognize the beginning of the clause? Because of this word, the subordinating conjunction. Okay? That tells me that is the beginning of the clause. Now, there are different types of adverb clauses. Some of them are related to time, to place, and so on. Let us see some examples. Adverb clauses of time. Before I played soccer, I was a basketball player. Okay? I was a basketball player. When? Before I played soccer. Look at the other one. The coach met with her players after the game was over. The coach met with her players when? After the game was over. Adverb clause of time. Now let us look at the other one. Adverb clauses of place. I've seen children playing soccer. Where? Well, everywhere I go. Soccer is very popular. Look at the other sentence. Anywhere you go. Sports stars are national heroes. Okay? Here you have some examples of adverb clauses of place. But let us continue because there are some other types. And here we have another one. Adverb clauses of reason. Since she plays well, I want her on our team. Let us begin with this part. I want her on our team. Why? What is the reason? She plays well. Since she plays well, I want her on our team. He was unable to play in the final game. Why? What is the reason? As he has hurt his ankle. Okay? What is this word? That is a subordinating conjunction, the beginning of the adverb clause. Okay? And let us see another type, adverb clauses of condition. Unless the tickets cost too much, we'll go to the game next Saturday. You'll be comfortable inside the house if it is cold and raining outside. What is the condition? If it's cold and raining. What is the condition? We'll go to the game next Saturday. Are you sure? Well, unless the tickets cost too much. If not, I don't have enough money, okay? So this is the condition. And what expresses the condition? An adverb clause. Now, another type of adverb clause. Adverb clauses of contrast. Look at this. They won the game. Great. Though they didn't really deserve the victory. What do you have here? You have contrast, okay? They didn't really deserve the victory. They were always defending. They didn't deserve it. But anyway, they won. What do we have? Contrast. Look at this. Although their team is talented, they just didn't win. It was a tie. They couldn't score a goal, not even one. Okay? So what do we have here? We have contrast. We have come to the end of our lesson. I hope you found it interesting. Remember, if you're in doubt, ask your tutor or your classmates, your peers. Okay? That's it for today. Bye.